Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all doing fantastic and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. There's a link in the description below. There's a lot going on. And I dare even say the words too much is happening really, I'm not sure where everyone lives, what everyone's doing, what news you acquire. There's far too many things happening worldwide, economically, in crypto, stock market, money, you name it, all at the exact same time. We are currently, at the time of me making this video, in another what the fudge is gonna happen with Bitcoin type of scenario. If you haven't kept up, paid attention to anything in the last couple of weeks, it's understandable. It's difficult to keep track of everything that's been happening, but of course we're going to be going over it. The recent couple of days ago, the movements down in the stock market, the movements down in the cryptocurrency market, the rebounds in price, the analysts on Twitter, as I mentioned a couple of days ago, I was saying everyone, all the analysts, if you will, have a very specific idea as to what's going to happen to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin's going to go. And I think at this point, everyone's kind of holding their breath to see if this is actually going to come true. Once again, we've been talking about a lot of this since summer of 2024. Analysts were or are completely set on this idea of Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency market, and now we're here. We're in this time frame, and this is also a major topic of discussion. What's happening with Bitcoin in February? It says 8 of the past 12 months of February, going back to 2013, have seen double-digit gains for Bitcoin. This is according to CoinGlass. The average gain for the second month of the year is around 15.6%. Moreover, only 2 Februaries over the past 12 years have been months of decline, 2014 and 2020. 2020, we can kind of figure out why. The asset remained flat in February 2018 and 2013, both bear market years. February 2013 saw the largest gain with a 62% surge over the month, while the second highest was in 2024 when Bitcoin rose by 43.5%. From $42,000 to $62,000. That was right after we got the Bitcoin ETFs. If you haven't seen, if you weren't paying attention, if you didn't get the memo, when I wrote on Twitter, it wasn't a joke. This was a couple of days ago. It was not a joke. For those of you who don't know how algorithms work, it's not a joke either. If you hover over something, the algorithms tend to give you relatively similar news to what you've been looking at, just how the algorithms are. They're not perfect. They're also made by imperfect people. So I hovered over something that was talking about prices for crypto in the coming months. And everything I scrolled down from there talked about Bitcoin in February, XRP in February, Cardano in February, Bitcoin in February, XRP in February, Bitcoin in February, Ethereum. It was the same loop over and over. If you didn't see it, it basically went down to this. Every single analyst, not some, not a few, every single article, every single analyst, and I mean all the way from, I don't remember these people's names. I have their image in my head on Twitter. The point is, the rumors is that in February, Bitcoin is going to $140,000. XRP is supposed to be anywhere from 10 to $14. That was the biggest one that kept on popping up. I showed you a couple of charts as well. For whatever the reason might be, everyone's chart keeps showing before we get to March that XRP is at $14. Bitcoin's over $135,000. For some reason, there's bearish bullishness for Ethereum. The bearishness is that the price isn't moving. We don't know why. We can't really figure it out. The inflows to the ETFs are absolutely, I would use the word spectacular. They're doing pretty well. It's not as well as Bitcoin. You know, they're not getting billions per day. But the Ethereum ETFs are doing just fine. The network is working. There's 2 upgrades, I think, coming this year. But for whatever reason, every time we get like a flush out, when the prices drop and prices begin to move back up, Ethereum doesn't compare for whatever reason and keeps going by in increments, down increments of $200 at a time. On the other hand, people are also flashing charts around showing that in February, Ethereum does really well. Everyone's expecting these double, triple, quadruple bottoms in price and going down, and that this chart is showing this. And they're all talking about Ethereum moving up to a $5,000 or $6,000 Ether over the course of the next 6 weeks or so, somewhere around that time frame. It's really like the same, once again, the same kind of loop over and over that we've been discussing. If everyone keeps saying it, does it actually end up coming true? There's also, believe me, there's also other news that we're going to be going over, and this is why like the speculation is also rising for a lot of people in the next couple of months. We're not talking about a year ahead. I mean really February, March, and I dare say the word April for the cryptocurrency market. Here's a little chart right here, and it basically shows Bitcoin in January, in February, in March, and where the prices go. I don't know why historically March tends to be a red month, and other times it's a green month. There's speculation that we've had before, if you missed it, where people were saying they believed that sometime around April we could see some red prices, and that was mainly because it's US tax season, and therefore people might be selling off to pay their taxes, which is a bit ridiculous because the sell-off would also then be taxed as well, so you would have to pay taxes. But that's, I guess, neither here nor there. But then also in May, it's previously been red, but then it's also been green. And then June has also been red, but then it's also... So this is kind of... No one knows really where any of this is actually going. I think everyone's kind of riding on the coattails of the news. Not in a joking way. I mean, people only have the news to kind of follow where things might go, what's happening with this. If you didn't see a couple of days ago, why, now this is slightly off topic, but we're still there. A lot of people, and this is a common thing in the cryptocurrency space, when prices drop in crypto, people tend to think there's a literal whale somewhere in the water whose mouth is full of Bitcoin, and he decides to sell. And everyone begins to panic, and then all prices go down, and then rumors begin to spread like they were on Twitter, that Trump must have done something. This must have happened. Prices reacted to Bitcoin not breaking by the 30-day Bart Simpson barrier and all these other kinds of things. If you didn't see what actually took place, and the actual truth of the matter is that crypto is very heavily intertwined into the stock market, into economic markets. I don't know why that's still such a surprise when we keep hearing and have been hearing for years that all these hedge fund managers and people have moved away from stocks, from equities, and they've shuffled on into crypto. The issue is that they react all to the exact same news. So upon hearing that the US stock market was going down, the cryptocurrency market began to fall as well. As with many tech stocks, crypto is also, in essence, a tech area. And we fall into the speculative asset category, and therefore we fall down as well. The entire thing mainly took place with some brand new app that comes from China that apparently outpaces everything that we've seen before in the US economic tech AI sector, and people were flabbergasted. I don't know why, because Asia usually always leads in like the multitude of these things. If you get a chance, look at, I mean, there's videos of it. Like you can see like the latest tech like coming out of China and stuff like that. You'll find, what are these things called? These like events where like you walk around to like different booths and stuff like that. They're miles ahead of I mean, it's really ridiculous in infrastructure and everything. And for some reason, the reason was that we heard is that Sam Altman announced that they had created a brand new AI system. And this one was going to be the bestest of the bestest. And it would only cost X amount per month. And then the next day, China was like, gotcha. And theirs is free. And also apparently does like 8x what OpenAI was going to do. People realized that their economic model of trying to charge people for this AI thing wasn't going to take off in the US because China already had surpassed them in technology. And also free. Free is a gigantic word, F-R-E-E, written in the sky. And once again, nothing is ever actually free. If something is free, you're usually the product, so they're probably scraping your information. But I mean, also the US companies do the exact same thing. Let us not be ridiculous here and think otherwise. But that was the reason for the major point of the sell-off, and every other asset was also falling as well out of fear. There's a lot of question marks right now for everything, not for some things. No one knows where anything is going to go. And I don't mean for crypto. I don't mean for Bitcoin. I don't mean for XRP. I mean for the world. No one knows what's happening with anything. It's a gigantic, like you flip the coin and you look up and the coin is still spinning in the air. No one knows where this is going to fall. China's economy is still not doing good. They're great on AI, but don't forget that their housing market is also like what was the core of everything that they had economically for the most part. The money drain is still happening within China. Money drain is happening in the US. Money shifting all around the world right now, trying to find some literal safe economic haven. And at the moment, it doesn't really exist. We will see in 15, 20 years in hindsight, oh, of course that market was going to take off, but no one knows what's going on right now. So this is why you're seeing a lot of the volatility, if you will, across all different markets. And within crypto, it's even more dramatic because of everything that's currently going on. This made major news, and I need people to really stop being crazy. No, and I mean those words. If you feel that crypto is overwhelming, take a step back. If there are things going on in your life, as it happens for all of us, take a step back. If the internet's too much for you, go ride a bike somewhere. Go skip stones on a lake. Just do something, anything else. People are taking any tiny point of information and they're blowing it up to something like, I mean, you can't imagine how people are really going insane over nothing. Even the title of this article is Brad Garlinghouse Faces Backlash. And that was that was the title name for every single article that I could find about this thing. For those of you who did not see as well, and I have to keep saying that once again because you're all living in your own lives. There's a lot going on. You're not always plugged into crypto 34/7. Like there's a lot of other things going on, so you might have missed. The news currently that we have right now is that an executive order bill was signed by Trump that says that that there's the creation of a group of people who are going to evaluate, if I'm correct, I believe over the next 3 to 6 months, whether the US should have a crypto reserve. And it's basically a bunch of people who are going to come together to figure out how to do it, as far as I understand it. The first issue is that this was not immediate. People were expecting Trump on day 1 to sign something. He didn't. He signed it on day 4, and people were like, why did it take so long? And I'm like, okay. On day 4, he signed something that basically said, we're creating a committee who are going to figure out how to do this. I think the time frame, if I remember correctly, is between 3 to 6 months, and then they'll figure it out. Yada, yada, yada. The B is that it said a crypto reserve and not explicitly a Bitcoin reserve. And can you guess who got upset the mostest? Bitcoin maximalists. That's why I say, and I mean this equates to everyone. If crypto's too much for you, if you don't like the news that's and it's not difficult to just keep your head down and focus on what you love and what you like. But going around online and attacking other people is probably one of the cringiest things that anyone could ever do with their spare time. You know, you could read books, you could learn a new language, you could skip rope in your living room for all anyone else cared. But calling people crazy or going... The thing is, if you missed it as well, Brad Garlinghouse apparently, according to the news that we're getting, I don't know these people, I don't hang out with them, I'm going based off of the news. We saw that Brad Garlinghouse had a dinner with Trump. This was like 2 weeks ago, or I don't know, time is really weird right now. It was a while ago. And people didn't like it. Bitcoin maximalists didn't like it because it meant that apparently the White House might cozy up to Ripple and XRP. If you don't understand that they've already been cozied up and have been commingling and have been skipping down the street together, you don't pay attention to crypto very well. Bank of America is also already working with Ripple and has been working with them for a while. And a lot of the executive orders that were also recently signed have literally opened up the door to banks in America being able to deal with and own and hold and buy and trade cryptocurrencies, which is something that they've also been waiting for a while. They've been working with Ripple for a number of years. Ripple has already partnered with a number of central banks around the world. So this idea that this is some like brand new... Why do you think it wasn't Hoskinson having dinner with Trump? Or that it wasn't Justin Sun or a multitude... There's a reason why it was Brad Garlinghouse. So the idea of him announcing or writing and signing a crypto reserve left the door open to the idea of the US might not just be accumulating Bitcoin. And if I can say this from a logical standpoint, this makes the most sense. If Bitcoin's going to $1 million and Ethereum at some point in the next 39 years is going to $35,000, if XRP, it will eventually, based on coin burn and usage, go to $55. Why would you, as a money-making government, choose to just focus your sights on one thing? We know that Bitcoin's king. We know that Bitcoin's number one. We know that Bitcoin's not going to falter. Get it, got it, good. However, from a money-making perspective, especially on the news that a lot of US created coins might in the future be tax-free. Did you see, I don't know what this thing is called, but the wallet address that's associated with Trump and world finance, whatever that thing is called. Also, can we stop having this delusion that Trump is actually buying these coins? Isn't Trump like, this isn't a joke, isn't Trump like 80 years old? I know people in their 50s who can't copy and paste. This is clearly someone behind the scenes who's buying all of these coins, and they're simply in his coffers. Got it. The coins that were being bought, for those of you who missed it, this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago as well. They were buying HBAR, they were buying Aave. I think some XRP was also bought. They bought a lot of Ether as well. And people were like, why aren't they just buying Bitcoin? And it's like, do you understand how this market works? If Bitcoin goes up by 28%, the altcoins have surged by 134%. If we're living in a world inside of reality where all these companies are working with each other and these coins end up being tax-free, these are probably going to be the coins that Americans focus on and throw all their money into that are going to have the biggest gains. People keep looking for what's happening next week as opposed to next year or the next 5 years. Think about it. Like, sit here and like really kumbaya with me. If we hear that 5 different coins plus, I don't know, I'm saying 5, announced that these coins are tax-free within the United States. Within the first year, these coins are going to skyrocket in value. Now, riddle me this. If these coins become popular, if they get ETFs, if they're accumulated by hedge funds, if they're accumulated by the president and the person behind who's clicking all the buttons, purchasing it for him, what do you think happens to the price of these coins in 5 to 10 years? What? Yeah, they keep going up. Isn't that crazy? When they become more integrated into stuff and companies start using them and they start putting their licenses on top of them and this on top of them and this supply chain, in 20 years, these coins are still around. We then have $189 XRP and everyone's like, I knew it was going to happen. And it's like, yeah, of course. So Brad Garlinghouse basically came forward and was like, this is great. I would love if we had a crypto asset reserve within the United States, and Bitcoin maximalists were frothed at the mouth as quickly as possible, and we're calling him tons of names, and this is why this made gigantically popular news. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse denounced Bitcoin maximalism because it's crazy. It is. It truly, truly is. If you believe with all the information that we've received that Bitcoin is going to be the only cryptocurrency on the planet ever, that doesn't make any sense. Because even from the vantage point of usage, it's 3 to 5 transactions per second. Bitcoin can get up to plus $10, $15, $20 per transaction. The average person isn't going to do that. We've had zero news recently about the Lightning Network. Zero. No one's talking about it. We haven't heard any updates. It's not integrated everywhere. We have a multitude of other coins. It's okay. It's truly okay if we have multiple coins within the space. I think there's some kind of a feeling of like a threat that Bitcoin won't make it. Bitcoin is the market. We get that. Bitcoin, as far as the news that we're getting right now, is probably always going to be the number one coin as far as we know. I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but from the news that we are currently getting, it looks like Bitcoin will always be number one. I even said it before. I think we're going to live in a world where about 80 to 90% of the market is going to be Bitcoin. And then there will be 10 to 15 other coins that like really made it. And they're 0.5% of the market, 1.2% of the market. I think XRP is going to be one of these. Bitcoin's market cap will be $70-80 trillion, and the other coins will trail behind, but they'll still do exceptionally well, and companies will use them. There's no real discussion about Bitcoin's dominance, but for some reason, and if you've ever seen, a real Bitcoin maximalist talking, there's a difference between like a Jack Dorsey or even like an Andreas Antonopoulos. They're like, yeah, other coins will exist. Bitcoin will be the number one. Other people like viciously attack other people online, just talking about like calling them names and all these. And it's like, you didn't create Bitcoin. It is not your child. Stop looking crazy and go do anything else. If you created Bitcoin, I would be like, okay, he's defending his project. You own 0.45 Bitcoin. Like, what are we having a discussion about? It's so weird. Denounced Bitcoin maximalism, labeling as the enemy of crypto progress, and also all the other crap that we have going on right now. The Ripple CEO has advocated for a diverse U.S. digital asset reserve encompassing multiple tokens. This guy did not stand on stage saying we should just have XRP. He said multiple coins. Do you understand that? He's literally being like, no, like we should all get rich together. And guess who had a problem with that? Bitcoin maximalists. Trump announced plans to evaluate creating a national digital asset reserve, and people lost it completely. It's the same. This is the same energy. If you missed it, this was last year. This is the same exact energy. There was news that we might get an Ethereum ETF within the United States. Do you remember Michael Saylor completely lost his bananas? For those of you who forgot or weren't here, Michael Saylor went onto Twitter and was like, that is never going to happen. There can only ever be Bitcoin ETFs. Everyone else who thinks otherwise is completely insane. You have no idea. And then the next day, there was the approval of an Ethereum ETF. And he was like, oh, altcoins can work together. La, 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 la. And it's like, what? You went on a rampage for a week calling everyone crazy, saying that there would never, ever be an Ethereum ETF. And then the moment it happened, you're like, well, fine, I guess, whatever. It's okay to have other, I don't understand. If you are listening to this right now and you have 7,000 Bitcoin, it's okay for you to be a maximalist. I get it. You really want your bags to pump. I totally understand. But otherwise, it just makes you sound crazy online. And then, there's no real benefit. There's no real benefit to it. It's okay. We live in a world where multiple different kinds of people exist. I know that's difficult to hear, but that's the way that the world is. You're all wearing different shoes now. You all have different haircuts. Many of you live in different places around the world. It's totally okay that things aren't all the exact same thing, that we're not all wearing those gray outfits from every single dystopian movie. You've seen these movies. In the year 2150, everyone's just wearing this really weird gray, off gray kind of thing with these moccasins for some reason. I don't know why people in the future have all this technology, but we're just wearing one piece of cloth. It's okay. It's totally fine. Your Bitcoin is okay. We know that Bitcoin's going to be around at least for the next 120 years. It's totally fine. This also, once again, major news. Absolutely major news. Also this is getting weird. When I told you at the beginning of the video, I said there's a lot of things happening at the exact same time. This is every 24 hours. It's constantly I don't think my brain can really handle anymore just because of how weird and absurd everything is getting at the exact same time. A company by the name of, and I've seen both names. People are writing it incorrectly or correctly. One is writing it as Tuttle Capital Management, and I've also seen a Turtle Capital Management. So it's either Tuttle Capital Management or Turtle Capital Management has filed for a number of cryptocurrency ETFs that are meant to literally test the boundaries of the new SEC leadership. There's a new person as the head of the SEC. The news that we got last week was that they are apparently pro crypto, super pro crypto. But people are beginning to already push the limits, and it's sending red flags immediately into the air because a lot of this doesn't make sense. It has proposed 10 2x long ETFs for XRP and Cardano, as well as the coin called Bonk. They're B-O-N-K. There are multiple, and now understand, some of you just got excited because Bonk is a meme coin that you're probably holding. Got it. The other part is it makes the industry look completely insane when you file for an ETF of a meme coin that might not be around in 2 years. Meme coins, as we have them right now, have no actual purpose. This is something we've gone over before with Shiba Inu and Dogecoin and every other, they're literal jokes. That's what a meme means. So there are other ETF filings that have happened for the Trump coin. Now, the issue is that the Trump coin is meant to be a meme coin. It was never touted as this is the official coin of the White House or anything like that. And people are bundling all these things together into gigantic ETFs with multiple coins. And this will actually test the limits of what the new SEC is going to allow through. It's abundantly clear that XRP is going to have an ETF. If you didn't see the news recently, the president of Ripple said that she's expecting an XRP ETF is imminent, like imminent. It's going to happen imminent. Cardano's going to get one at some point. It's a very popular coin, but we've also drifted into, I think that this is kind of the ICO NFT of this cycle. For those of you who don't know, every cycle there's a brand new narrative. We don't know why. It's just something that kind of swings itself into the space. And this one, the craze seems to be meme coins. And yes, I don't really know what else to really say on this topic, but there have been a bunch of new ETFs filings listed with the new SEC, and I would assume realistically by middle of March we should be hearing from the brand new filings as if they're going to actually go through and if we're going to get these ETFs. If these ETFs go through, if they're approved, expect a lot of coins to really begin pumping in price. But we're also on this really weird slippery slope of like the cryptocurrency market just becoming a complete joke because of we have thousands of meme coins now. Like, it's not like we have like 12. We have thousands of them. There's hundreds of them being created every single day. It's similar to a couple weeks ago when Changpeng Zhao got a little bit of backlash because he mentioned, he was like, yeah, we need to focus on actual like innovation and creation within this space and, you know, creating this and doing that and not like 75 new meme coins, which always end up being rug pulls popping into the market every single day. So yeah, I haven't been able to keep up with every ETF that's been filed, but it's a lot. There's a lot of ETFs being filed right now. A lot of them are mainly focusing around XRP. There's sprinkles of new Bitcoin ones and or Solana meme coins. Like, really. So we'll see what happens. It is going to be an interesting year. That is for certain. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you're all doing well, remembering to drink water, doing something nice for yourself, going out on walks, opening up a window, getting some air. It's okay to step back from crypto. I'm telling you, it's really okay. I have to say this every couple of months. It's okay. I told you I have a friend. He checks prices like every 15 minutes. And I sat him down recently. We were talking and I was like, you opening up your phone to check prices will do nothing. If you can set up price alerts. If something dramatic happens, if there's a drop by 25%, you'll be alerted to it. You can even set up your phone like to tell you like, is there a 5% drop? You will be alerted. You will know. You also have a price alert for the prices going up. It's totally okay to step away from your phone for a day. You looking at prices is not going to influence them. It's not going to move them in the direction that you would like to see them. Things take time. Everything takes time. We've moved up a lot since a year ago, and I'm expecting this year will be the exact same. I do hope you've all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.